Value talks. Meghan is living beyond her means, according to insiders. Even Harry was unable to please her? Will she find satisfaction? Greetings and welcome to the World of Royal Staff's channel. Let's first pause to remember the recent tragedies that hit the West Coast, including the disastrous rain, mudslides, and wildfires. The region has already endured enough hardships without having to deal with the entrance of backup royal players wanting to rebuild their careers. The disgraced Duke and eternal pariah Prince Andrew has reportedly been keeping an eye on Harry and Meghan's professions and all they have been doing in America, in addition to Prince Eugenie and her husband Jack Brooksbank may be looking at properties in Los Angeles. Can they please leave already? On paper, the Sussexes appear to be doing fantastically well, having signed contracts worth more than $200 million. But is Sussex land truly as pristine and glittering as it seems? Evidently no. Tom Bower, a seasoned biographer, has come forth to assert that Meghan is presently forced to scrape for extravagances favored by the 0.01%. Are you serious? This woman, who married into nobility, is now forced to eke out a living by begging. According to Bower, Meghan is money-obsessed and always has been, and she married Harry in the hope that he would be worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. She wants to be able to fly in a private aircraft or large Cadillac whenever she wants, but for the time being, she must scrounge for these things. What about entitled? Not to mention the ludicrous $30 million wedding and the free mansion that required $3 million in renovations, paid for by the taxpayers. The phrase, "I married a prince and all I got was a $30 million wedding and a free mansion," may be appropriate for Meghan to have on a t-shirt or coffee mug. They certainly could have made better use of those $30 million. I mean, for 5 million GBP or less, I could have planned a wedding that was exactly like that and had a greater bride speech. The Sussexes are simply another example of rich, entitled individuals who believe they are superior to everyone else. Even though they sign deals for millions of dollars, they still have to fight for the luxuries they want. Maybe they ought to learn to be content with what they have by imitating the rest of us. Contrary to popular belief, Harry and Meghan are not living the high life on the West Coast. If these two want to keep up with their jet-setting, Gulfstream-owning, multi-billionaire neighbors in their posh new neighborhood, they will need to do a lot more than just Netflix and chill. Fair enough, they may have landed a beautiful $100 million deal with Netflix, but keep in mind that this also includes the cost of their production team and overhead. A purported $29 million contract for 4 books with Penguin Random House should not be taken as gospel. We have only seen 1 book from Meghan so far, and it is unknown how much money they actually made from the arrangement. Does anyone honestly think Spotify paid Meghan's Disappointing Archetypes podcast the full $31 million contract? In our opinion, no. But it's not just about their income. It's about how small it is in relation to their new friends. Oprah Winfrey is estimated to be worth $3.67 billion, followed by Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi at $558 million, and Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry at $543.8 million, according to various sources. These people own private aircraft that may be purchased for up to $60 million. Not to mention Kris Jenner, the first woman to build a multi-billion-dollar corporation out of a sex tape, whose estimated net worth is slightly around $300 million. She monitored Ellen and Portia, Harry and Meghan's hosts, while they renewed their vows. Then there is Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop Enterprise, which has a $360 million plus valuation. In comparison, Harry and Meghan might as well be beggars. Harry and Meghan should start looking for methods to make money if they don't want to spend their days scrounging for life's nicer goods. So it appears that they are currently having trouble keeping up with the DeGenereses and Bloom Perrys, also known as the Joneses. Harry isn't as wealthy as Meghan anticipated. The amount of money he had when they first met would have been absurd for any normal person, but she had higher expectations. She most likely had the erroneous impression after seeing all the palaces, jewelry, and antiquities. Sorry, Meg, but neither Charles nor Wills will have you, nor does your husband own any of that. He also won't be crowned. The next time this A-plus list group comes together for Saturday night, they would still be the poorest persons at the table even if they received every dime from every trade they've made. Cases of vintage Pouilly-Fumé and Parcheesi. The predicament deteriorates further. Their approval ratings have been severely damaged by the debut of Harry and Meghan's Netflix series and his biography Spare. Also, I should mention that they weren't doing very well to begin with. According to recent polling, they have reached a new all-time low in terms of popularity for the second time since the attack began. From the beginning of December, Harry's approval rating has fallen 48 points, giving him a net approval rating of a negative 10 points. Meghan has lost 40 points, and she currently has a score of negative 17. American perception of Queen Camilla is more favorable than that of Meghan. To put things in context, ouch! The couple's current plan to make money off of their unending resentment is rapidly imploding. They will need to overhaul and remake their careers and image if they hope to keep their present level of income or even come close to the amount of money their new friends are generating. But let's be honest, I find it difficult to imagine how even one venture capitalist, Hollywood businessman, or Silicon Valley titan would be eager to partner with the two prominent people who are despised by the majority of Americans. If the Duchess were a shrewd person, she would realize that a drastic shift of course is required right about now. It's time for a rebrand as soon as possible. 3 years after Megxit, 6 hours of whining, and more than 400 pages of Harry putting his own family down. The world has been transfixed since 2020 as Harry and Meghan have turned their 20-month tenure as a working royal couple into a Homeric conflict between their righteous thinking and a stony-hearted family that steadfastly refuses to select a royal shaman. According to Camilla Tominey of The Telegraph, there is a mysterious Instagram account with the username @Meghan. Who else could score a handle like that besides a celebrity? Theoretically, the Duchess is getting ready to return to her writing roots with an updated edition of The Tig, some sort of online lifestyle service, or perhaps even position herself for social media stardom. Maybe all of the aforementioned. The future? But for Meghan, it's not just about the money. There are unsubstantiated claims that she had lunch with Gordon Getty, according to The Telegraph. And if you're wondering who that is, the Getty family was one of the super-rich San Franciscans who contributed to California Governor Gavin Newsom's ascent to power. Fascinating, especially in light of Senator Dianne Feinstein's announcement that she won't run for re-election in California. As for the Duchess, she hasn't been seen in public for more than 2.5 months, while Harry has been conducting his flurry of interviews. Yet let's face it, if California is known for anything, it is huge aspirations, and who knows, maybe even sales of private jets. Can you believe these two are still making an impression at this point? It's like sitting through a lousy soap show that never ends. But perhaps, just perhaps, they've finally come to the conclusion that their shtick has become stale and that it's time for a fresh approach. It's time for them to confront facts and own up to their mistakes. Both of them are running out of time. I really appreciate you watching. Please click the like button and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video in order to see more Royal Staffs in the future. I appreciate your support and hope to see you all in the next one.